It's the Metro on WDET. I'm Robyn Vincent. For years, they've marked the skyline. Two towers, one on either side of the Detroit River, each rising more than 700 feet. Then the road between them crept up over the water, foot by foot, until the two halves finally met. Today, the Gordie Howe International Bridge opens to traffic. It's the third crossing between Detroit and Windsor, alongside the Ambassador Bridge and the Detroit-Windsor Tunnel, and the first new one since 1930. And it almost didn't happen. It was delayed, sued over, and fought for years by the Maroon family that owns the bridge next door. The Metro's Alex McLenon has covered this since the first shovel hit the ground. He joins me now. Alex, hi.
Good morning, Robyn.
Good morning. So the Gordie Howe Bridge has been a long project in the making. Tell me about some of the notable moments in this saga.
Yep, well, it broke ground 8 years ago, so this has been an 8-year project. It was summer of 2018 at the time. Got through COVID, some delays there, not a ton of delays according to bridge officials. It was told to open last fall. It ended up not opening last fall, and they said this spring. And there was about to be an opening on like the last technical day of spring in June, a little over a month ago. And then that ended up getting derailed. The planned opening and ribbon cutting were canceled amid pressure from the Trump administration, and a lot of reports there that the Maroon family owns the Ambassador Bridge, gives a lot of money to the Trump administration, and essentially they wanted assurances that they weren't going to lose money, and that invited U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick into the situation, and it kind of muddied it and got us to where we are now, where the bridge is finally opening at noon today.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I'm almost to the point of saying, like, we'll believe it when we see it. Like, I was a little bit concerned to even make this declaration,
Yeah, there's
Alex.
still 2 hours for something to go wrong.
So back to this tension. I mean, there is a lot of it between the American and Canadian governments, and President Trump, as you have mentioned, has been at the center of that tension. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, the tension has been largely a microcosm of the ongoing relationship between the U.S. and Canada. For one thing, part of the agreement here is, well, Canada paid for the bridge. Canada paid to build the bridge deck. Michigan and Canada paid for their ports of entry. There was no U.S. money involved in building the bridge. Trump thought it was a bad deal for the U.S. Canada was originally going to be recouping the cost for building the bridge until a point that it had paid itself back, and then split the revenue with the state of Michigan. That is now changed. It is now going to be a 50-50 net revenue split between the U.S. and Canada, and the money that comes to the U.S. will go into a U.S.-Canada economic fund that the U.S. controls. Not a whole lot of information on what that is or how that will be used, but that's a 15-year agreement. Could that change in the future if someone tries to improve relationships between the countries? That is possible. But for now, that is going to be how it operates, which will make it a little bit longer for Canada to pay itself back. But even as the bridge was about to open, there was the new tariffs that came down, and that kind of muddied the water and kind of dampened the grandeur that was planned for the opening ceremony.
I mean, I am thinking that people who've been following this closely saw President Trump announce 50% tariffs on Canada and were just like pulling their hair out.
Yeah, that was kind of the thing that the bridge was still opening, but it kind of changed the tone around the opening. There was supposed to be a joint ceremony with a bunch of U.S. and Canadian officials there to celebrate all of it. That changed after Trump announced the 50% tariffs. The Canadians uninvited the Americans to the ceremony and held a ribbon cutting last week on Friday. And that was held in Windsor without any of the U.S. officials. And the tariffs was really the thing that I think frustrated the Canadians the most, and that was a talking point during the opening ceremony for some of the people. But there was still a focus on the fact that the U.S. and Canada are neighbors. There's a huge amount of trade that goes between the two countries, and they rely on each other. Some Canadian officials used the ceremony to highlight the Gordie Howe Bridge as a testament to that relationship between the two countries. Mark Wiseman is Canada's ambassador to the U.S.
This achievement, having one of the most fluid and secure high-volume border crossings in the world is a testament to the long-standing partnership between Canada, the United States, and the state of Michigan. Where we stand today is truly one region. It is a place of two nations with a shared community.
But the opening ceremony wasn't without criticism of the U.S. Canadian Premier Doug Ford made his stance on the latest round of tariffs clear.
Our relationship has been challenged over the last few years, and President Trump has threatened new tariffs just this month. But Team Canada has never been more united. And I want to make it clear, working with Prime Minister Carney, will never stop standing up for Ontario and for Team Canada.
Okay, so again, we were hearing from voices during an opening ceremony that Americans were disinvited to.
Correct.
Which feels like a big message coming from Canadians who we often think of as being really polite and welcoming and friendly. And so this seems like a concerning moment. I mean, and this bridge is pretty significant. There are other crossings between Detroit and Windsor. From an economic standpoint, what's so important about this one?
Well, it's a big deal because the Windsor-Detroit corridor is the busiest economic corridor in the U.S. The Detroit Regional Chamber says that around $70 billion worth of goods cross there every year. And right now, the only way to cross there for semi-trucks is the Ambassador Bridge because trucks can't go through the tunnel. But this new bridge, the Gordie Howe Bridge, not only is it going to be a second option, for the sake of supply chains, it will make a lot of sense because the Gordie Howe Bridge will connect directly to, I believe, the 401 in Canada and I-75 in Detroit. The Ambassador Bridge, there's 10 stoplights between the Canadian port of entry and the freeway, so it will streamline things for trucks. There is more lanes on the bridge as well, so that'll ease the load for everyone. All the crossing times should go down. The supply chains should flow smoother. And that's a big deal because of how much goes across the Detroit River right there, especially with the auto industry. I know it's been told a million times, but parts cross the border multiple times during the assembly process for a car, and this should make things a little bit easier and quicker for everyone. That, and there's, the other factor of it is that the Ambassador Bridge is about 100 years old, and infrastructure doesn't last forever, so another bridge was needed, and this has been the answer to it.
Okay, so beyond the economic significance and the infrastructure that is important here, the bridge is unique for other reasons, too. I mean, what else is interesting or notable about the Gordie Howe International Bridge?
Well, it will be a way to walk or bike between the countries, which
that is cool.
For advocates of bike riding, you'll have an opportunity to do that, but not right now. The bridge is opening for traffic this afternoon, but the walking and biking path will open, I believe, on August 5th. So there's a little bit of time until that gets going, but that's an option that people have not had, that they will now have. How long of a walk that'll be, we'll see, because the bridge does take a little bit of a ways to ramp up. But
you're gonna find that out for us,
I will.
Though,
we will
right?
find that out on the Metro. We've been kicking that idea around. So
you're gonna do a walking tour and a biking tour.
Yes, I will. I will cross it on foot and let you know how it goes.
Alex McLenon, a producer and reporter with the Metro. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's the Metro on WDET, and this station belongs to you, the people who listen to it. So we want to hear what you love and what you'd like more of, what you want to change. WDET's annual listener survey is open now. It's quick, it's anonymous, and we read every single one. WDET.org. That's WDET.org. We'll be right back.